in the juvenile halls, and I want to take you guys to John chapter 4, and this was pretty much from a message that I heard. Was really powerful and just got into the Word, and so I want to talk to you guys about being thirsty, right? John chapter 4 is basically about Jesus and the Samaritan woman, getting that water from the well, and then she bumps into Jesus, right? And so one of the things that is sure for every single one of us is that every one of us has a thirst that only Jesus is able to satisfy, correct? All of us. I think that's the one thing that we have in common here. And then another thing is that God created us in His image, right? He gave us a heart to worship Him, that heart to just be able to commune and have a relationship with Him. But as we know, because of Adam, that heart of worship was distorted, right? And that relationship that man had with the divine or with God pretty much broke off. So much so that God also even put that cherubim at the gate so that no human being can go back to the Garden of Eden. So with that being said, because of that broken relationship, there's always a restlessness that every single one of us have if we don't have Jesus Christ in our life, right? And our hearts are restless until we find rest in Him. And Him, I mean capital H-I-M. And so I was thinking about like the practical things as far as what we go through and what our bodies tell us, when we're thirsty, of course we go and drink water because our body's telling us that, hey man, you're thirsty, drink some water, right? And I know this is kind of I don't want to say a corny illustration, but you know what, man, when we have to use the restroom, we go and use the restroom. Those are practical things that we have to do, right? But what happens when our soul deep within our bodies tells us, hey man, there's something missing? What do we do then? You know what I'm saying? What do we do then? We listen to our body with the practical things, but what about when our soul is yearning for that intimacy with God? What about when we kind of gone stray? You know what I'm saying? And we haven't spent time with the Lord. What about those moments? What do we do? And so, John chapter 4, we have, of course I'm not going to go through everything, but the gist of this chapter is, you have the Samaritan woman who goes and is drawing water, right, from the well. And at that moment, she bumps into Jesus, right? And Jesus asks her for a drink. And she's baffled. She's like, how can you ask me for a drink, man? You're a Jew. What are you doing messing with me? But the cool thing is that Jesus, man, and we see the principle here is that Jesus finds us exactly where we're at. He meets us in that situation or that place of need. He meets us at that moment, and that's what He did with her, right? And so Jesus goes on and tells her, man, if you knew who was asking you of the water, you would be asking me for a drink. Verse 13. I'll read it to you guys. Jesus said to her, everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. Right? And so, amen to that, right? And so, I think about the water, right? And the well. And so, the question that I want to pose to you guys is, how do we satisfy our thirst, right? What do we do? What well do we go to? You know what I mean? What well who do we go to so that we can satisfy that need? That perhaps our soul, our relationship is yearning for. And that's just it, because a lot of the times I realize that I run to the wrong well. I'm drinking the wrong water. And that's what was going on here with the Samaritan woman. Jesus is like, man, I have something better for you guys. And so, in those situations where our soul is thirsting for that intimacy with God, or maybe we need strength, where do we run to get that strength? And that's what I want to encourage you guys with, is to kind of redirect you guys to, or point out to you guys, where do you go to satisfy that need that only can be satisfied through Jesus Christ? And that's just it, man. It's a good evaluation of where we need to go, who we need to run to. Because many times, man, we try to satisfy what we really need through superficial things that will cause us to continue to be thirsty again. And so I share that with you guys so that you guys can put into perspective what well you guys are going to and what well you guys need to be going to. Jesus said, well, actually, the Samaritan woman, when she realized who Jesus was, she said, give me this water so that I will not be thirsty or have to come here to draw water. Amen? Amen. All right, God bless you guys with that. We have Chaplain Bleo. Chaplain, right?
Yep.